One of the saddest things in the United States is over the last 50 or 100 years that we've been farming here on a big scale, organic matter levels have been decreasing across the country. Today we want to talk a little about why organic matter is so important and what you can do on your farm to prevent organic matter loss and actually even build organic matter levels in your soils.
Well, I don't think it's a problem just limited to the United States. I think farmers around the world are facing the same things. When you look at the organic matter levels in your fence line where the ground has been undisturbed probably forever, and then you look out in the middle of the field, it's very common to see that organic matter level percentage be much lower in the field where we've been farming. So how is this happening? Why are we burning it up?
Well, a lot of it comes down to tillage. So if on your farm you're doing full-scale tillage, over time you are burning up, like Darren says, that organic matter. What we would suggest if you want to build your organic matter levels is use high residue crops like corn and wheat, do reduced tillage, so either go to no-till or strip-till. We realize, in some cases you're going to have to do some tillage, but at least reduce the amount of tillage that you have out there, leave some residue on top of the ground, and then maybe even use some manure in your rotation somewhere if you can. Get a little bit of manure here and there. All those things can help build the organic matter levels. Now let's get to why is organic matter so important?
Well, the biggest thing about organic matter is it's like a big sponge out in your field. It's part of your soil that can hold water and hold nutrients. And as that sponge fills up with water and nutrients, that's great early in the year or when you have plentiful moisture, but as your crop needs that water and as your crop needs those nutrients, organic matter will release those nutrients and that water for your crop. So it's a really big deal. The more organic matter you have, the more potential release of water and nutrients you can have for your crop later in the season.
Okay, so talking specifically about that water, in a lot of the stuff that I've read over the years, what I find is for every 1% increase we have in organic matter, we're going to hold about 4% more water in an average soil. So let's just say that we could increase our organic matter levels over time by even 3%. Well, 3% times 4 is 12% more water holding capacity. Do you think that maybe if our soils could hold 12% more water, they'd be worth a little more? Do you think they would produce a little more yield? Absolutely. So we want to try to get those organic matter levels up a little bit. For water holding, that is super important.
Well, the other thing would be the nutrients that organic matter is going to hold. It's estimated that for each percentage of organic matter you have in your soil, it's going to give a free release of 20 to 30 pounds of nitrogen, 4 to 7 pounds of phosphorus, and 2 to 3 pounds of sulfur.
And that's per year, every single year.
So each year, if you had, say, as Brian said, an increase of 3% in organic matter, well, there's another potentially probably 60 pounds of nitrogen, another 12 pounds of phosphorus, and another 6 pounds of sulfur that's going to come for free each year, just figuring on the low end of those ranges.
Okay, let's run through just a few more of the benefits with organic matter. It improves soil structure and tilth. It reduces compaction and increases oxygen levels in the soil. It helps hold soil in place and reduces erosion potential. Helps filter contaminants as water moves through the soil. Improves microbial activity in soil life and allows soils to warm more quickly in the spring. This organic matter thing is a big deal, and I just think as farmers, we very often neglect it because it's not something that changes dramatically up or down on a yearly basis. Whereas weeds show up, well, we can go kill them today. We have disease issues out there, we can go work on that right now. We have bug problems show up, we can kill those things immediately. But with organic matter, it's a long-term process. And so as farmers, we have to just kind of sit back a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to think about the next 30 years on my farm. My goal is to overall increase my organic matter levels by 2 to 3%. What do I need to do for the next 30 years in a row to get to that point? I know that's a long ways out, but that's kind of the way you have to look at it.
To sum things up, organic matter is really important. You want to focus on improving your organic matter levels in your fields by reducing your tillage and using high residue crops.
Well, building your organic matter levels in the soil is great, but one thing you don't want to build in your soils is the level of weeds. We'll tell you how to stop this week's weed coming up next.